Not everyone who hates you will say it out loud. Jealousy shows up most quietly in fake compliments, in the eyes that avoid yours, and in the cold silence exactly when you accomplish something. They don't have to stab you in the back. They just need to not celebrate with you, and that's enough to say it all. The danger is, most of us don't see it. We call them friends, family, trusted colleagues, until everything falls apart. This video will show you 9 uncommon but dead-on signs to spot jealousy and deceit around you. Not to make you doubt everyone, but so you stop being blind. Because sometimes what drags you down isn't failure, it's the people who pretend to be cheering you on. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and like if you're new here. It helps me keep bringing you more valuable content. There's one thing you need to learn early if you want to survive in a crowd. It's not what people say. It's how they look that tells the truth. And when someone compliments you but can't look you in the eye, be on guard. It's not shyness. It's that they can't stand the fact that you're succeeding. They know compliments are polite. They know they should be happy for you. But deep down, they hate the feeling of being lesser. Every one of your wins is a slap in the face to the ego they've built. So they smile, they pat your back, they cheer you on, but their eyes drift, and that never lies. You don't need to be a psychic to read people. Just stay quiet long enough, watch close enough, and you'll see those compliments are as hollow as paint on a rotting wall. Jealousy isn't loud. It's as gentle as a congratulations, but cold enough to send chills down your spine if you're paying attention. The problem is, most of us get lulled to sleep by nice words. Because we want to believe everyone likes us. We crave validation so badly, we'll accept a lie, as long as it's wrapped in a pretty smile. That's the trap. And that's why so many people get betrayed without even knowing what hit them. So what should you do? Simple. Don't react. Don't play along. Just remember. Just observe. If someone can't look you in the eye when they say something nice, that might be a sign they're not happy about your growth. And you need to adjust the distance accordingly. No need to cut them off. No need to confront them. Just lower your expectations. You can't control how other people feel, but you can control your inner circle. Don't let hollow praise pull you down. Let it be a reminder. Not everyone is strong enough to be happy when someone else gets ahead, and you don't need their permission to keep going. Some people never ask, "Are you doing okay?" or "How are you feeling?" Instead, they ask, "How much do you make? How much did you invest in that? Who taught that course you took? Does it come with a certificate?" Sounds like they care, but in truth, they're doing the one thing envious people always do quietly: compare. They need numbers. They need data. Not to learn, but to position themselves in some warped way. So he's ahead because he's got someone backing him. Well, makes sense. He's got more free time than me. He probably used his parents' money. They're not asking to lift themselves up. They're asking to pull you down with an excuse. Because if there's no excuse, they'd have to face a brutal truth. You're winning, and they're doing nothing. Envy doesn't always come from strangers. It often comes from people you once called friends, coworkers, even family. And they don't show it with nasty words. They show it with conditional curiosity. Every question is an emotional trap, forcing you to explain, to open up, to justify. And that's when you're dragged back down to earth. People often think sharing brings closeness, but the truth is, not everyone who asks deserves to know. You have the right to hold back. You have the right to smile and deflect with a joke, or just change the subject. No one owes transparency to someone who isn't genuinely on their side. If they truly wanted to learn, they'd ask differently. They'd be humble, they'd listen, they'd take action. But if they're only asking to judge, to poke holes, and measure you up, then your silence is the smartest comeback. Not all information is meant to be shared, and not all envy is worth confronting. But if you're sharp enough, you'll know what someone asks matters less than why they ask. Motive always reveals character. Don't confuse curiosity with sincerity. You've probably seen it. A friend smiles when you tell them you just got promoted. The timing seems right, The congratulations sound polite, but something feels off. Their teeth grind just a bit, their eyes lose focus for a beat, and that pat on the back, it lands a little too hard. That's not your imagination. That's their body betraying what they're really feeling. The most skilled, envious person isn't the one who curses you out. It's the one who knows how to smile, how to compliment, how to mask bitterness with politeness. But what they can't control are the physical reactions. The clenched fists, the death grip on their glass, the way they lean back the second you mention your win. Tiny, almost invisible signs, unless you're alert enough to catch them. Don't be fooled. A lot of people will congratulate you not because they want you to succeed, but because they don't want to look like a loser. Their smile is a paper-thin armor covering the bitterness that you've outpaced them, that you've done what they couldn't. And if you keep rising, they'll hate you more. But they'll keep smiling. The scariest part? These people don't walk away. They stay. They watch you climb, not to cheer, but to wait for your fall. One misstep from you is a feast for their envy. And if you overshare, you're just handing them tools to build the trap for your future self. The solution isn't to become suspicious of everyone. It's to be aware. Your success will always reveal the true faces around you. You don't have to hate them, but you do have to adjust your expectations. Don't expect others to celebrate if your joy is their nightmare. Here's the truth. They don't hate you. They hate the feeling your existence triggers in them, and you're not obligated to endure that just to keep the peace. Keeping your distance isn't cold. It's smart. If this video made you think, hit like now. Comment below. How have you applied Stoicism in your life? Stoic success, unbreakable mindset, total control. It sounds backwards, but look closely and you'll see. Some people only show up, only genuinely check in, only truly care about you when you're losing. When you lose your job, they text you. When you break up, they call. When you're struggling, they invite you for coffee. But the moment you get back up, stand tall, and start moving fast, they vanish, like you just did something wrong. Why? Because they only feel safe when you're beneath them. When you're down, you're not a threat. You don't bruise any egos. You don't force anyone to look in the mirror and face the stagnation in their own life. You're a symbol of trying but failing, something they can pity without having to respect. But when you start winning, when you have what they only dare to dream about, everything changes. You become a mirror that reflects the mediocrity they've tried to hide. Your presence makes them uncomfortable. Your story shuts them up. Your gaze makes them feel small. And that's when they either back away or start looking for ways to pull you down. Here's the irony. Many people will only root for you if you stay in your place, beneath them. That's not friendship. That's a relationship built on imbalance. And the moment you tip the scale, you disrupt the comfort they've grown used to. The fix, it's simple. Don't judge people by how they treat you when you're suffering. Watch how they act when you succeed. A real one will celebrate like your win is theirs. The envious will take your joy as a personal insult. Support only matters if it sticks around when you're on top. Those who only stay close when you're down aren't the ones worth keeping once you rise. There's a certain kind of person. When you're around, they hype you up, but when you're not, they go quiet. You accomplish something big. They like it on social media. Maybe toss in a generic comment like, "So awesome." But in real life, when someone brings up your name, they say nothing. They don't share your success, don't mention your hard work, and definitely don't defend your reputation when someone talks trash. Why? Because they don't want others to know you've outpaced them. They don't want to look like a sidekick in your story. They don't want to be compared when your name enters the conversation. Because if they publicly praise you, they're indirectly confirming the gap between you and them. And that's something envy will never allow. A jealous person might smile with you, pose for pictures with you, but they'll never become a messenger for your worth. Deep down, they don't want the world to respect you more than they're comfortable with. Their silence isn't forgetfulness. It's intentional. It's their way of erasing you from the conversation, from attention, from the spotlight. Know the difference. Someone who truly values you will speak of you with pride. They don't need you in the room to praise you. They're not afraid of losing their shine by sharing yours, because they understand that success isn't a zero-sum game. Your win doesn't mean their loss. Only the narrow-minded think like that. Pay attention. Those who are only good to you when you're present aren't good at all. Real support shows up even when you don't need it. You can't force anyone to admire you, but you sure as hell don't have to let their silence define the value you're building. True worth isn't measured by the compliments you get when you're around, but by the people who defend your name when you're not. This is the most common phrase from people who aren't willing to try but also can't face the truth. Every time someone achieves something, they don't ask, "What did that person do to get there?" They just dismiss it with one line, "He probably just got lucky." That's not a comment. It's a way to deny someone else's hard work in order to protect their own fragile ego. Because if your success came from effort, then they'd have to confront their own laziness. But if you just got lucky, then they get to keep procrastinating, keep making excuses, and keep living a life without accountability. Saying someone got lucky is the easiest way to run from the feeling of inadequacy. No proof needed, no reflection required. Just one short sentence is enough to soothe their bruised ego. They don't care how long you studied, how much you did, or what you sacrificed. They only care about one thing, not feeling small next to you. But you're not here to convince people like that. You don't need to justify that your success is legitimate. You just need to understand one thing. Those who label others as lucky are the ones who've lost faith in themselves. They use luck as a shield to avoid stepping outside their comfort zone. And more importantly, they're not worth your attention. The only real solution? Ignore them. Keep working. Keep leveling up. Let your results do the talking. No need to argue. Because if they had the humility, they'd see the truth on their own. And if they don't, no logic will ever pull them out of the hole they dug to bury their own growth. In Stoic philosophy, luck is not something to rely on. It's something outside your control. And because of that, not worth blaming or clinging to. The strong know this. Real success comes from within. Everything else is just noise. One of the subtlest signs of envy is selective silence. When you're down, they check in, nod along, show sympathy, and act concerned. But the moment you do something you're proud of, land a big contract, take a leap in your career, or even just stay disciplined, they avoid it like your story isn't worth mentioning. It's not because they forgot. It's because they don't want to see you standing on a level higher than what they've decided you deserve. They avoid asking, they avoid commenting, they avoid engaging, because every time they hear about your progress, it feels like they're falling behind. Every time you take pride in yourself, they feel personally attacked. Worse, they can turn that silence into subtle pressure. When you share, they change the subject. When you talk about what you're doing, they glance at their phone. They send the signal, "Okay, enough showing off." Slowly, you start dialing yourself down, holding back your joy, shrinking yourself, muting your motivation just to keep the peace. And just like that, you walk into the trap. You suppress your excitement, make yourself smaller, dim your fire, just to make sure no one feels uncomfortable. But while you're shrinking, they're staying perfectly content in their mediocrity. You're playing a game where only you bleed, and you think that's maturity. No. Maturity isn't about minimizing your achievements so others don't feel insecure. You don't need to brag, but you sure as hell don't need to apologize for growing. Anyone who can't celebrate your growth was never truly there for you. Friendship, family, or any relationship can't last if one side sees the other's progress as a threat. You are not obligated to make others comfortable by playing small. This is one of the most common tactics, and if you're not sharp, you'll fall straight into their emotional manipulation without even knowing it. They approach you with sincerity. "Hey, I'm not saying this to gossip, but watch out for that guy." Or, "I heard he said this and that about you, just didn't sit right with me." These so-called warnings aren't always lies, but a lot of the time they're sneak attacks wrapped in fake concern. Don't be naive. A lot of people aren't warning you to protect you. They're trying to isolate you from relationships that could make you stronger, brighter, more independent. They plant doubt in your head, drive wedges between you and those who could support you. They don't do it for your sake. They do it because they need you weak. Because when you're strong, they feel inferior. When you connect with others, they lose control. Someone who warns you about everyone you could potentially grow close to isn't protecting you. They're controlling you. They want you to rely on their advice. And if you buy into it, you'll end up living in a shrunken world, full of anxiety and mistrust, where you trust no one but them. The real danger is this kind of manipulation doesn't look hostile. It doesn't come with pressure or threats. It wears the mask of friendship, loyalty, even kindness. But if you pay attention, you'll notice, after every warning, you lose a connection. You miss out on an opportunity. Another door closes. There's only one solution. Observe and experience things for yourself. Listen to advice, but never let it replace your own judgment. Bad people can't hide forever. But if you view the world through someone else's eyes, you'll always see it through a lens distorted by fear. Someone who truly loves you will help you connect more, grow stronger, become more solid. But anyone who makes you shrink, become paranoid and dependent, that's the person you need to get far away from. Here's a tough truth. The people you think are closest to you may not actually be happy when you succeed. They don't curse you out. They don't betray you. They just go quiet. Or worse, they avoid you. They change the subject. They're busy. They forget to congratulate you. And you end up feeling lonely in the moment that should have been the most fulfilling of your life. You get promoted. They don't text. You launch a new project. They don't share it. You finally achieve something after years of work. They leave a bland, empty comment. Or worse, they say nothing at all. But when you fail, when you're struggling, they're right there. Suddenly, they care. Suddenly, they show up in full supportive friend mode, but only because they're more comfortable when you're not doing better than them. Harsh? Maybe. But your brightest moments are exactly when people's true colors get exposed. Not everyone can handle seeing the person next to them rise while they're stuck in place. Not everyone is big enough to look you in the eye and say congratulations, instead of looking away. That doesn't make them evil. But it does mean they're not someone you should invest in emotionally. You need to learn how to accept this without bitterness, without disappointment, without trying to reconnect. Because if you keep dragging them along, you'll have to dim your own light just to maintain a friendship that's already broken. And that's what a lot of people are doing without realizing it, shrinking themselves to protect the comfort of those who are no longer aligned. You don't need a cheering section. But anyone who stays in your life and can't be happy for you shouldn't stay. The world isn't short on good people, but only a few are big enough to genuinely celebrate someone else's growth. Hold on to those few. As for the rest, let them stay lost in their own silence. Don't force anyone to clap, but don't pretend not to notice when someone turns their back just when all you needed was a simple nod. Real maturity isn't just about how you succeed. It's about your willingness to keep going, even when no one's cheering anymore. Envy and deceit aren't always loud. They're quiet, subtle, and sometimes they come from the people you trust the most. Not everyone who smiles at you is genuine. Not everyone who checks in wants the best for you. And not everyone who's there when you're struggling will be there when you win. Understanding this won't make you bitter, it will make you aware. Aware enough to not be manipulated. Aware enough to not dim your own light just to keep others comfortable. And strong enough to maintain your distance from anyone who can't handle your brightness. You don't need to be loved by everyone, but you do need to respect yourself. Don't shrink who you are to fit into someone else's limited vision. And don't lose your drive just because someone else wasn't big enough to celebrate your success. Keep moving forward, not to prove anything, but because it's the only way to avoid getting pulled back into the pit of mediocrity, where far too many people are quietly drowning in jealousy and in denial. Thank you for being here. If you found this video helpful, subscribe, turn on notifications, and like this video. Don't forget to leave a comment so we can spread positivity together.